First thing is to attain the position, pose or posture which is steady and comfortable by practicing one and the same posture every day. Second thing, to understand, it's okay now? Yeah. 3 things in the breath: inhalation, exhalation, and pause. You see, if you have control over it, the pause, you have control over death. The yogis willfully drop their body by having control over the pause. Another way of dropping the body is by having willpower with sankalp shakti. Third way of dropping body is by knowing the span of life and then dropping the body. You see. Third point is how to be free from the sanskaras which I am touching today. Past impressions. Because all the human beings, I find you all haunted by the idea, I am not good, I cannot do this, I am not capable of doing this, I am impure. And the mistake lies that you identify yourself with your actions instead of identifying yourself with your true self. That's a mistake. If you think that you have done something which is not right, don't repeat it and you're free. You see? Why create that guilt complex? As toxins are injurious for the physical body and nervous system, such negative thoughts are injurious for your mind. And mind over body reflects. So all your negative thinking, guilts, which are not necessary and which are not needed, reflect through your body. You see. Lie detector will not work if you follow this process. You see. Because you will be not lying, you are free. You are born every moment. That which you were, the way you were yesterday, you are not same today. You are born today, you are born right now. See. Anyway, I'll teach you that process. So there are 3 things I told you yesterday. Now tell me.
Firm and steady posture.
Huh?
Firm and steady posture, comfortable posture. Regulating the motion of the lungs. That was the second thing you talked to us about.
By the breath, yes. Through breath.
Excuse me, the 2 to 1. The 2 to 1
Yeah.
breathing, right. And then I was also looking for the third point, Swamiji.
I told you.
With the
Mind.
dialoguing.
No, dialogue was first step, but ultimately that dialogue should lead to purify your mind, to make your mind free from all the sanskaras. Yes.
I was inquiring about the practice that you gave yesterday, the breathing practice, and I was related to Sree Mudra. As your breath gets longer, should you be exhaling and applying that? No.
It is not related to Ashwini Mudra. Ashwini Mudra is entirely different.
But you had him apply Sree Mudra before he started the 2 to 1 breathing, Swamiji.
Because I don't want apana vayu, exhalation and inhalation vehicles, to clash.
So it should be held or it should be applied?
No, just hold once and that's all. Because you don't have that practice. Wait, one minute. Yes?
Could you, Swamiji, touch today or tomorrow what is the difference between the Turiya, Samadhi and Soundarya, Lahari? How you grade them for superiority?
Okay.
and which one is easier to accomplish and why?
If you are searching for something easy, then have Coca-Cola bottle. Open and drink and throw it away. Learn to make human effort, and when you have done your human effort, then there dawns a grace that is called descending force. When you have accomplished the whole process of ascending force, then there dawns, when that peak you touch, there dawns descending force. It's not difficult, but it cannot be called easy.
My question was, which one should be tried first, which one should be tried second, and which one should be tried third?
Now, you will have to sit with your teacher. He will examine your attitudes, tendencies, capacities, and then he will tell you. It's a prescription. You see, one prescription is not given to all. It depends where the block lies. Yes.
Swamiji, in the breathing exercise you gave yesterday, was there a specific number of repetitions that we were to do, or just do it once?
No, you have to do many times. You have to do 3 to 5 times to start with. And if you make that effort 2 times a day, and then start 3 times and don't go beyond 3, then it will help you. Yes?
Should you always be in the corpse position when you do that, or
No, in corpse position to begin with, but later on you should do it in sitting position. Yes.
Swamiji, you mentioned that, and you're probably going to talk about it more today, that when you eliminate the pause, and you gave the story of Vivekananda being told that when you eliminate the pause, you can understand future time, etc. That's obviously a more advanced practice than us doing 5 in and 5 out and eliminating the pause.
Yes. Phil told me yesterday that I did not talk about pause. I talked about pause, but Phil was sleeping during that time. Okay. I will repeat that again. Come on.
You said in the 2-to-1 breathing that we should hold 30 seconds. Is that the inhalation or the exhalation?
I never talk about holding.
That we should sustain. I used the wrong word.
What?
I used the wrong word. That we should sustain.
That I don't use that word too.
What word should I use?
I didn't say that. Yes, I will.
is the goal to do 2-to-1 breathing all the time during the day, or
No, only during the practice. To increase the capacity, yes.
Could you explain more what you mean by repentance and how to practice that?
Repentance means not to repeat. That's all. There is nothing, no ritual in it. Not to repeat. And if it is habit pattern, then go to somebody, go to some place, practice for some time in that retreat, so that you don't repeat what you don't want to and what you think is not right. And that's called repentance. And prayer, the sort of prayer I discussed yesterday, praying to the self who is seated deep within you in the inner chamber of your being, thinking, understanding, feeling, and deciding that your whole body is a shrine and inner dweller is the real Deva, and you are praying to him. This way, that, awareness is strengthened. I am not talking about praying to someone who is outside you, far away from you, whom you have never seen, whom you have never known. At least you have known someone who sees through your eyes, who listens through your ears, who motivates your whole being. So it's there.
You said to get to repentance, you said to go somewhere. in our lineage, does that mean just going to like, a clinic somewhere, or does that mean going to a special shrine?
If the doctor is good, you can go to a clinic. But if it is a clinical subject, but it's not. So better go to a retreat where somebody can guide you and help you. I gave you instance, I could not sit. I just sat up to a certain period, and beyond that my body became very restless. And my master noticed, but he did not tell me anything. So one day I told him. He said, sit down in front of me. I sat down and I accomplished that. So going somewhere means going to someone who practices, you see. And when the master teaches a student, he teaches in one posture. This is the first time when I was asked to study with various teachers, my master told me, when you are talking to somebody and if he changes his posture, say namaste and go away. First thing is posture. And I met somebody who used to look after me in my childhood in the monastery, who was my guardian. Such a steady posture, statue-like, and he did not know how to move. And he was very comfortable, very knowledgeable person, and he never read anything. Nobody taught him anything. But he had so much satsanga, he knew all the scriptures, Bible, Quran, all the scriptures he knew. He used to register through hearing, you see, from Sotriya Brahmanistam. Those competent teachers who have learned from their teachers, who have experienced. So I told you to go to such a place, such a teacher who can help you, who can guide you, who understands you. You see. Yes, doctor.
Yesterday we talked about the field with mana, buddhi, chitta and ahankara. They need to be trained, so they are the trainees. Who is the trainer?
The trainer is the self that watches over all these functions. Your awareness is a total awareness.
But the awareness is akhanda. It has no division.
No. But it travels through various avenues. It's like a lamp which has many shades. Suppose your lamp has got 5 shades. The lamp light is very dim. That is also awareness. You take off one shade, life is little bit clearer. That is also awareness. You take off the other, complete awareness, absolute awareness is there where there is no shade.
It's the same thing as Panchakoshas.
Yes. Yes.
My question was, is there a proper prayer to the divine being within, besides that of asking for strength?
Nobody should actually fix up a prayer for you. You should pray in your own language, in your own way, with full determination and faith. It's okay. There are Bibles, they talk about prayers. The prayers are made, but others should not make prayers for you. Nobody makes language for a newborn baby so that she can talk to her mother. It's exactly like that. Pray in your own language as silently as possible. Yes?
When you're doing the 2-to-1 breathing, are you focusing on one side and then the other?
I told you not to use your... No, first you have to do that mentally, which you can do. I gave you example, and then you should start doing that.
You follow the breath down the body and up the body.
You follow the breath as long as you have capacity.
gives us enlightenment and liberation. While,
Which knowledge? That also I described. Knowledge that is subject to sense perception? No. Knowledge that is partial given through our mind? No. Knowledge through scripture? No. Which knowledge? Direct knowledge.
Sutra or Shiv Sutra, I don't remember. It says Jnanam Bandhan. What does that mean, sir?
From where did you learn this? You should find out from where it is. Then I will let you know. Direct knowledge means when you come in touch with your intuitive knowledge, the infinite library within you, then you are using that knowledge for which you do not need any evidence, any support. Simple way in mathematics, 2 and 2 make 4, we do not need anyone's advice in that. Intuitive knowledge is that knowledge which helps you to decide, judge, discriminate, sharpens your buddhi so that you don't have any doubt, you don't need any confirmation from any source, you don't need any support from anyone. That is beyond your mind. It means when you calm down your mind, have perfect understanding with your mind, then you receive that knowledge starts flowing then.
Bondage.
Which knowledge? Avidya is bandhan, apara knowledge is bandhan. This knowledge is bandhan, this creates bandhan. But actual knowledge does not create bandhan. It's a Shiv Sutra. It's not Brahma Sutra.
Swamiji, what's the nature of the initiation for Gana? You said Gana Diksha or something. What is the nature of that initiation?
In the Upanishads, there are Mahavakyas, great sayings, when the sages renounce, the renunciates and monks contemplate on those. They are called Mahavakyas. The Mahavakya is given by a teacher, by the Guru. This is your Mahavakya according to your tradition. Yes. Yes.
नहीं मैं कल आपने बताया था जो सर्कल ब्रीदिंग है शवासन में ज़्यादा अच्छा है तो वो प्रैक्टिस करने से बिल्कुल
ऐसा नहीं बताया मैंने. I am not sure. It should be understood well. This is inhalation and this is exhalation. This arrow indicates exhalation, this is inhalation. Now, whole technique, why this should be practiced, you are already breathing. Why it should be mastered? To omit or to expand, one are the same thing. If you have power not to create, not to allow the pause, then you have power to expand. That's one and the same thing. In Savasana, first you say 2 to 4. With that ratio you go to 30 to 60. When it is perfect at 30 to 60, you don't feel any uneasiness. Then you try, next step you try to omit this pause. A very interesting subject. Those who practice this, that particular group is called Prana Vadana, Prana Vedana. Those who know the mysteries of the pranas, subtler forces of life. So they omit this. Exhale, a pause comes, and then you inhale. Inhale, a pause comes. So you try to omit these 2 pauses. And then you have got capacity to expand. You can exhale and wait. You can inhale and wait. That's called Kumbhaka. This is called Rechaka. This is called Puraka. And this is called Kumbhaka. So what I did, I condensed the entire method of breathing and taught you that it is easy and shortcut for you to practice if you practice this way. Use a pillow, lie down on the floor, Shavasana, by applying Mula Bandha and practicing. Of course, you have already done diaphragmatic breath, and then you practice this. Make a point, your toes. Feel as though you are exhaling to your toes. And then inhale through your toes to the crown of your head. And then you start counting by watching your capacity. Slowly expanding that. No haste is allowed in it. If you want to tread this path in 2 days' time, 10 days' time, 1 month's time, it's not possible, it should not be done. Don't hurt the finer tissues of your lungs. If you exert them, you will be hurting the finer tissues of your lungs. But once or twice a day, if you do it, there will be clarity of mind, you can see. 6 days, don't do. Only 1 day you do, you will find clarity of mind that day. Because mind and breath, they function together. They are close friends. They are twin laws of life. This should be understood. There was a debate in our monastery once. When we follow the Vedantic principle, why should we follow yoga path? My master said, yoga path should be followed, and when you have accomplished whatever yoga teaches you, then you follow Vedanta later. Without disciplining yourself, without equipping yourself, if you follow Vedanta, you are not able to assimilate. It's just like drinking finest wine through a dirty paper cup. Nobody does that. Best of the wines is taken through chalice. You see. So what I am trying to do, I told you, Sree Vidya helps you going through all these hurdles, and I am giving you a system which is condensed system, shortest cut, so that you can go safely beyond. I will not touch those points where you have certain dangers. Because if you commit mistakes and uselessly make efforts, as the books say, and I am warning teachers also, many teachers do not practice and teach others just to do experiments. That's a very dangerous thing to do. In books there are many things written. Some of the writers wrote them without knowing. Picked from here, there and wrote a book. I will tell you about Bhut Shuddhi in Laya Yoga. The writer writes, you see, let the earth be dissolved in the water, let water be dissolved in the fire, and let fire be dissolved in the air, and let air be dissolved in the sky. What have you understood? Nothing. And suppose you practice that my body is dissolving and it is becoming water, and that water is being dissolved by the fire, you will find a problem which cannot be cured by any medicine. Bad yoga practice can lead you to very dangerous situations for which there is no medicine. Suppose your pranic vehicles are disturbed because of your foolish practices that you have read through books. Where is the medicine for that? Therefore, a teacher is needed. And teachers should be skilled enough not to mislead their students, not to make experiments on them. Let teacher make experiments on himself, on themselves. So, we have always on the scriptures warning, yellow mark on the scriptures, don't do it. You see. It's a tradition. I will never, that's why I do not touch too much kumbhaka. Because you do not eat right food, you lead very hectic life, you don't watch your capacity. So I avoid the subject. But those who are students and those who are treading the path, there's no harm. I will teach them. For bandhas are involved in it. And there are mainly 3 locks. When Jalandhar Bandha is applied, when Uddiyana Bandha is applied, and when Mula Bandha is applied, what you teach your student? You teach inhale and retain and exhale. The books say like that. Teachers don't teach that way. Teachers say exhale first. First exhale, then inhale. That set is different. Now you inhale and then retain and then exhale. These things are not meant in the books. They are not written in the books. So directly a student comes, immediately you teach him inhalation. Because there is so much impurity in the lungs, how come you don't have sense about it? So first you should learn to teach student exhalation, not inhalation directly. Though the book says inhalation, puraka, kumbhaka and rechaka. It has become the experience. Yogis will never write like that. In fact, what has happened, those who are very experienced, they did not have time to write. There are only few books written by those who were experienced, yet they had time to write, or they had students who jotted down their notes and then published. Most of the books on yoga, philosophy and religion, history are just mess. They create confusion. There is no clarity. You can easily find out somebody who is realized and somebody who is not realized. So therefore, scriptures does not mean books. Scriptures have a category. This subject you should practice in front of your teacher, or come to see teacher wherever you find, or understand what he says. Don't interpret in a different way. Don't translate it in your own way. It is not allowed. Again I repeat first, you sit down, learn to attain steady and comfortable posture. First you come across with the tremors, because you are trying to discipline your body, which was never disciplined. So body will move one way or the other. It has nothing to do with Kundalini. Yeah. I've seen many people smoke marijuana, take drugs and start doing this, and they say it's a Kundalini awakening. I was asked to speak in a group where everybody was doing like this. I told their teacher, what are they doing? Said their Kundalini is awakened. I said, if it is awakened, why do I speak to? To whom? So I started walking in, no, do it. I said, if they stop, then I will speak. Everybody stopped. Nowhere in any Shastra it is mentioned, no teacher will ever be foolish to teach his student doing like this, and then call it Kundalini awakening. You sit down naturally, your bottom will get warm. Naturally. My bottom is warm, so I have Kundalini. Okay, now children, joke is over, be serious. Doesn't matter if it takes 3 to 6 months to attain that steady posture, comfortable posture, please. Then the breath. It might take 6 months. Don't jump here and there. This easiest, shortest method. Don't practice kumbhaka, retention. Just practice how to omit the pause. For pause is a killer. Pause means death. You can control the killer. You can control death, you see, by controlling the pause, by omitting the pause. Omitting pause means you can expand pause. It's not something injurious I am teaching you. Don't go beyond your capacity, I say. When you become too much breathless, what do? And a point comes when your body starts shaking. No. Your body will tell you. You should learn to understand something about your body. Body speaks to you when you overeat, when you are tired, when you are sleepy, when you are yawning. So learn to understand something about it. This will help you. Don't overdo. 3 or 2 times a day you should practice. When you have not overeaten, when you are not sleepy, when you are not worried, just do it. Learn to understand one thing. All the time you are worried, when will you practice? Why are you worried? Because you carry your office home and your home to your office. So neither you can do office work nor you can do homework. Drop your office work at office and do your homework at home. You see. Learn to train yourself. Training, discipline is something great. If you do not know whether it is right or wrong, the quest of truth will teach you. You commit mistake, either others will tell you this is mistake, and you will realize this is not good, or you will feel this is not good, then stop it, practice it. But be free from the guilt feeling. In this Sree Vidya system, there is a wonderful system of being free from all the guilts, from all the past, from all the sanskaras. After you understand this and accomplish this, this is one of the point which is not so highly evolved stage where a yogi knows how to drop his body. I have seen many people, I have witnessed many people. In our tradition, this is a must. A yogi should not drop his body in somewhere in bewilderment. There should be somebody to witness his death. This is a system. So that others witness how has he dropped his body. So that tradition continues. Last that happened in my tradition is in 1954 when there was Mahakumbh in Allahabad. Binay Swami at 4 o'clock dropped his body. He told everyone. Up to 3 minutes earlier he was discussing things. After that he said, now I am going to drop my body. My time is over. So people said, when you have so much power, why do you not do it after a few days, after a few months, after a few years? He said, my body is no more cooperative. My bones are stiff because I am old. My brain is not functioning well. These are physical things. So I want to drop this. You see, my garment is old and I want to drop it. So people ask, will you assume another body? He said, I will decide once I drop it. Then I will decide later on. You see, you can decide it now, you can decide it. There are certain decisions which you do not take today. You take mundane little decisions, actual decisions you people do not take. As you have a tradition and you have developed a science, medical science, which tells you when the child will be born accurately, you have not applied that science which tells you when will you drop your body, because you are afraid. You are afraid of facing that. So science only tells you when will you be born. Science cannot tell you when will you die. But there is a science which exactly can tell you. And that's very helpful. That fear of death is removed. And one of the concrete thing is to practice this. Once you have not learned not just to omit this pause, you are free. The question comes, how long will it take? Not more than 6 months in any case. If you practice once in a day, 6 months, not more than. The third class student, first class 3 months. You will have to observe, understand certain kriyas like cleansing the body, you see, so that you don't overeat, you eat good food, you see, preparation for that. But it's not difficult. You see. It's not difficult. Look, so far you know that this is a spiritual practice. I said this is not. This is purely a technique. Higher technique which you do not know. So you call it miracle. Miracle means that which you do not know. At the moment you come to know, it is no more miracle. Doctors, the doctor who did surgery, heart surgery first time, people consider it's a miracle. When American reached moon, it was a miracle. It is no more miracle. Because the technique is known. These techniques are not so, you see, secrets. They are imparted by the teachers to the student, those who are prepared, those who deserve, and those who are practicing. And I think everyone should know it. So, that which you can practice, this which is not abstract, which is concrete, is this practice. And by this practice you can have complete control over your pause. Pause means you exhale and you want to inhale. But between inhalation and exhalation there is a pause. That pause is killer. Suppose one exhales and never inhales, he is dead. That pause is killer. That pause is called death. Yogis control that pause. All the exercises are meant to have control over that. Though all the exercises in the beginning are meant to control the motion of lungs, to regulate the motion of lungs, but that's not all. Finally, all the breathing exercises, pranayama exercises, are meant to have perfect control over the pause. Now I go beyond. After you have understood your antahakarana, you go and try to understand the finer body within you, finest body within you. According to Mundak Upanishad, what you call prana is not prana. They are not called prana. They are called vehicle, you see, which take pranas inside. Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, this way. There are many vehicles. They do their work separately. What is prana? The first unit of life is called prana, and now this is body, breath, mind, conscious mind, unconscious mind, and here is the center of consciousness from where all power comes. So first unit is called prana. Prana is not here actually, is here. Only one scripture. There are many other scriptures, but one Upanishad explains it. That's called Mundak Upanishad. We have taught that. Because of prana, the mind moves, mind functions. Who motivates mind to function? It's prana. The Mundak Upanishad talks about this prana. This Adi prana, this Adi prana, this Shakti, Devatma Shakti, as Shwet Upanishad says, is called Kundalini. Kundalini Shakti. At present it is in a latent state. You do not know. You think it's prana. It is called prana, actual prana is this. Prana means very life, the source of life, the source of whole creation. So you are going beyond after analyzing, understanding all different functions of your mind. Manas, Chitta, Buddhi and Ahankara. You can have a dialogue, a free dialogue with yourself by understanding, is it my mind that is dictating the terms to me? That is confusing. Whenever you are confused, sit down. You are confused because you have not taken decision. You have not asked your buddhi. That's why you confuse. Mind will confuse, mind will give you many suggestions. Which way shall I go? This way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Unless mind takes help from buddhi, it will be always confused. So you are confused because your buddhi is not functioning well. Remember this. Anybody who says, I am confused, you are not using your buddhi. How 2 and 2 will make 4, how 2 and 2, if you don't use your buddhi, you will go on remembering this. Confusion lies because you are not taking help from your buddhi. Dialogue means trying to be aware. Well, this mind, this manas is confusing me. Why should I not take help from my buddhi? What is my ego? Ego helps in the external world. We can polish, purify that ego and use it for right purpose. So you think ego is that faculty which is always bad? No. Bad ego is bad. So when you understand 4 aspects separately and enter into dialogue, that dialogue will help you sometimes to go beyond. What is beyond this? All this wheel, what is inside this, beyond this wheel? You have to face a train of thoughts mixed with emotions. And then a process you have to start which is called introspection. Inspecting within is called introspection. Because by that time you have learned how not to identify yourself with the thought patterns. Suddenly you remember your childhood, something you did in your childhood you liked that time. Now you are adult, you don't like it. And during meditation, when mind is calm, conscious mind, do you know what becomes active? Unconscious becomes active. So you say, what is all this? Swamiji taught me meditation. I am trying to calm down. My mind has become very active. This method is not good. When you catch hold of the small part of mind, which is called conscious mind, like a finger, catch hold of it tightly, my whole body will become activated to protect it. So is the case with the students. So therefore, there is a word called patience. Learn to be patient with yourself. Learn to expand your capacity. Now persist. Don't give up. Train yourself. Training is great. I will tell you one example of training. There is a party in the army camp, and the commander ordered the captain to bring some dishes from the market. And he brought. On the way, somebody, a practical joker, appeared and said, "Attention!" He forgot that he was holding something. He came to attention. Everything broke. He came running to his commander. He said, "Sir, I have committed a mistake." "What happened?" "You are such a capable officer. Why did you do such a thing?" "So that's a mistake." "So what happened, tell me." He said, "I was coming, all right, but on the way a practical joker appeared and said, 'Attention,' and whenever I heard attention, I used to be attention." Training is such a powerful thing. If you have trained yourself, whenever that method of training is visualized by you hear, everything is dropped, no matter how strong habit pattern you have. So with the help of training, you can change the groups of your mind, help yourself. Never give up. Say, you cannot train yourself, don't give up this. Remember, you will be rewarded from inside. Gradually you can train yourself. Now, I was talking to you about the pranic force, about the Mother Divine in you, who has created this structure, who has given you beauty, who has given you all that you have. That Mother is there in you. You see, that's a direct Shakti. Sun without its light is not sun. As sun is different from the light, but sun cannot exist without light, therefore the Atman cannot exist without Atma Shakti. Not possible. If there is no Atma Shakti, it's not Atman. If there is no light, it's not sun. Though sun is different from its light, yet they are one and the same. So is the case with the Mother Divine and Shiva, the ultimate reality, which is not subject to change. It has no gender. It's not she. It's not he. It's not child. It's not old. It has no name, no form. Yet you use a name and form to go beyond the name and form. So this prana. Now, we'll discuss something about prana. We have understood something about Chatushtayanta Karana, and we know this body is dropped, mortal part is dropped, yet unconscious part, body and individual soul is there, and when you drop this body, you go with individual soul, with this Shakti and unconscious mind. This unit goes with you. That's called death according to your definition. After death, you don't die. You still live. That's the greatest tragedy in human life. You think that you will be relieved? Not possible. Your accounts do not have same account book which you had last year. Account book is changed and accounts continue. Now, how this flow of energy is there in the human body? From crown chakra to this is human body, only up to this. These are limbs. This is called human body. How this is in human body? Yes. I drew Charles. Okay. I can make good drawing out of it. And it will look like you. At the root of the spinal column, as the scriptures say, there lie a powerhouse. Now please be attentive. Now go to a tropical country where the temperature goes higher than 120, 30, 40 degrees. And use a stove at home, you can cook your food in the same temperature. Why can't you cook in that temperature? You cannot. Because it is not condensed, you see. Now, in winter there are countries where the coolness goes beyond 0 degree.
The lecture continues.
Why do you not create air conditioner in your home? To many other things. Because it's not there. What you need to condense the energy. Use the flow of energy, which is all over the body, is scattered by going to its powerhouse first. And that powerhouse looks like this. That's what the sages say, it looks like this. It's based at the root of your spinal column. In the powerhouse, that energy, which is called Kundalini, is like this. Like this. Coiled. Now, the yoga science says there is a flow of nectar from this part of the body. She drinks that flow of nectar and remains intoxicated. It's not the wine that you find in the market or liquor. Its intoxication is heavier than that. I tell you, yes. Even japa intoxication is very heavy. I tell you one of my I got disgusted. I said, what is this life? Whole my youth I have spent in the mountains, you see, and nothing is working. Now, I threw away my clothes, started walking on the banks of the Ganges towards the Himalayas. I said, I will drop my body wherever I want. I'll realize. So I made few promises. I will hold my hands like this. Never beg, never talk to anybody. Never look back. Started. There is a small bridge at Gangnani. So I was like a lord of the universe, with all fears were gone. All hopes are gone. I was walking. So suddenly my eyes were open. So I saw somebody just 3-4 feet distance, someone having big mustache. And I stopped. And I opened eyes. There I saw a tiger. I had to decide in a second which death is better. Shall I jump in the Ganges, one death? Shall I submit to this tiger so that he injures me, hurts me, eats me? Or shall I run back? Which death is better? There was no choice of life. The question, what type of death is better? That was the choice. You know what I chose? To go forward is better than any other thing, no matter what happens. So I was in silence, nothing came from my mouth, out of fear, naturally, And something, I was very sure that I was observing silence. So my lips closed and I said, So that tiger said, perhaps more dangerous tiger is in front of me. Tiger was also afraid to come forward, to jump in the river, turned back and ran away. And I thought I was all alone. I said, this is my victory. You see. Even I left everything, still there is fear of death. I knew something. I knew that he was tiger. I would have. Why did I not pet that tiger? The scriptures say like this, Ahimsa pratishtayam tatsannidho vairityaga. Why did I not pet that tiger? Why was I afraid with that cat? What that cat could do? All that knowledge of the scriptures came later, but not during that time. I am being very truthful to you. I won, but at the same time, when I went to the other side of the bridge, I was sad. As though you have dropped all your hopes for life, for anything worldly, still, why did you stop? Suddenly I remember, when Buddha decided to renounce his home, palace, he decided, and somebody was going to help him to go beyond his kingdom, to lead him to that border. He turned back from the, door, just to have a glance of his only one son, once more. Who prompted him to do that? Why did he do that? Moha, attachment. It is so strong, sometimes you think that you have no attachment. But still there are some finer strings, unknown strings, unseen strings, which are still there. They are called sanskaras. How do you purify those sanskaras? Why this Kundalini sleeps here? In the scriptures, this chakra is called Mooladhara chakra, root chakra. She is supposed to stay in her home, that is called Swadhisthana chakra, her own abode. Her own abode is not this. She is sleeping here because she is intoxicated, she doesn't know where she is. She is so much intoxicated that she has slipped down from her abode and she is sleeping here. It is in her latent place. In dormant place. So what the yogis do, those who know this yogic anatomy, those who understand, then they do it. After all, she is Mother Divine. Whether she is sleeping, she has created and now she is resting. But she is not at her home. Swadhisthana chakra. She is supposed to be in her home. You see. So what the yogis do? Awaken her. So what they heard during that time? Hissing sound. Like this. Hissing. Which was later on compared by the Swamis with the hiss of the snake. You see. It's coil like snake, you know. They uncoil this force and lead this force through, which resides inside your centralis canalis, Brahmanadi, Saraswati Nadi, the finest tube channel within you, and to the highest abode, where her beloved resides. This is easily accomplished by the yogins, by the devotees of Sree Vidya. Now, she is also called Tripura Sundari. Tripura, Pura means city. Tri means three. But she dwells on the fourth. Waking, dreaming, and sleeping. These are three cities. Are you listening to me, gentlemen? Okay. And fourth is called Turiya. Fourth stage. All that you can do, you are able to do, you are functioning consciously during waking state is also her city because of her power. When you dream, which is that power that you use during the dreaming state is also her power. What is that power which gives you complete rest, leads you to sleep? That is also her power. But actually she is here. That is her real, it is called sleepless sleep. Mandukya Upanishad discusses this at length. You see. But this is only a vichara, understanding. How do you attain the understanding that you have? You need to practice for that. You understand something. You understand that sun shines and it's such a big light, but you understand the moon shines in this. You understand the far distance there is water and you are thirsty, you cannot reach there. Practice is needed. And that practice should be concrete, profound. You know what you are doing. Don't do if you do not know what you are doing. It will be a waste of time, it is dangerous, it is uncertain. The teachers say that there are three khandas. This is called Brahma Khanda. 1,000-petal lotus, the highest of all chakras, the highest of all chakras. Why it is called highest? In this city of life, there are many gates. The highest of the gate is here. Many yogis drop their body through that gate. That's another way of dropping the body. There, if anybody who goes through this gate knows where is he going. You will find one of these gates, one of the 9 holes becomes distorted when somebody dies. Eyes become like this, tongue become like this, something is distorted. It means the pranas depart through that. Yogis say no. We will drop our body Because body is subject to change, death and decay. It is going to be. Body is not immortal. So we will drop this body through this gate. Why through any other gate? Why through eyes? So that's why you will see many people, their eyes bulge, somebody's tongue is. So there are certain signs and symptoms. If a yogi goes to examine someone, he can exactly tell you how long this person is dying. I had a very bad habit. On my way to Ayodhya, I was going and there was a police station. So there was a tree on the other side of the road. I sat down, it was a summer day. I was wearing one small loincloth and hat, you see, one pot of water with me, nothing else. Here comes the in charge of the police post, touches my feet and said, "Sir, my father is seriously ill. Can you tell me what will happen?" Ask your question accurately so that I can give you accurate answer. He said, "What is going to happen? I have duties. If he is not going to die today, then I will go on my duty and come back." I said, "What is the time now?" He said, 1 o'clock. I said, "He is going to die at 4 to 5. 4 minutes before 5 o'clock. You know, he brought his whip. He said, "Look here, Swami, if my father dies according to your prediction, exactly that time, I will adore you like my father, I will not cry. But if he doesn't die, I will whip you so much, I will kill you first." Serious problem. I said, "Look here, whatever I knew, I told you, now let me go." He said, "No. When your prediction comes true or untrue, then I will allow you to go." That habit of mine broke that day. So I calmed down. So 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before he came out, he said, "Now I'm ready." I said, "No, still 5 minutes more." I don't want to wish anything bad, but exactly at that time, he didn't, he died. So he went to attend his father, and I went on my way. Since then I said, it's not good to be fortune teller. This, you know. You see. But a layman can also know whether this person is dying or not, by seeing the thumb. When thumb drops, this drops. You see, it is not dropping. It drops, touches this part, then he is dead. This is a definite sign, I am telling you. Huh? In any position, this drops. It has some connection with it. That's why Hindus have a tradition up to honor somebody with the sandal paste like this. There is some meaning behind it. There are many such signs and symptoms which I write in the book, Life Here and Hereafter. They are not wrong. They are definite signs and symptoms. Now, those who want to have worldly wisdom, worship the Shakti here, and this group is called Kala group. Kala Kula Limited. limited to your family tradition. This group worships in external form, but very prosperous as far as worldly wisdom, riches, things are concerned. They use all the things. They get married, they have girlfriend, they drink, they take fish, they use many methods. You see. That particular worship, which is still used in many parts of India. You will not know. Only one who knows this subject will recognize. Because Sabha Madhye Cha Vaishnava. When you see them outside, you will not know. They will never talk this secret, this philosophy to anybody. There are rare families in Kerala, Mangalore, South India, who practice this. But very few. In Kashmir, there are families, and there is a subcaste that is called Kaul. Mr. H.K. Kaul, Mr. Kaul. Kaul was our ambassador of the United States. Perhaps his ancestor, not perhaps, sure, his ancestors followed this, that's why they use the name Kaula. There is another group that worships, this is Rudrakhanda. Fire, water, and the Kundalini. These three come within Rudrakhanda. Then comes Vishnu Khanda. Fire again is included. Anhat Chakra and Vishuddha Chakra, Vishnu Khanda. Then Khanda, Brahma Khanda. Little bit of this, but prominently this and this. So this second school says we don't want to be so much worldly. So that group lives in the world, is prosperous in the world, and that is called Mishra. You know, you will say Mr. Mishra is coming in India. Actually, it's their tradition. Was the tradition, this tradition called Mishra. It's an Anhat Chakra. They have different scriptures, but scriptures do not carry much weight, much guidance, because this is an oral tradition, very ancient tradition. Vedas are considered to be most ancient books, but this tradition is equally ancient as Vedas. This is simply coming oral. They don't want this tradition to be written, because it will be lost, it will be misused. It was misused by Vajrayana group. When Buddha renounced the world, was enlightened, went to Rajgrihi, he charmed the whole world. All young people started joining Buddhism. And they did not know how to discipline, how to follow the discipline of renunciation. So they created a marga, a path, which is called Vajrayana. So Vajrayana, though taken from this scripture, misusing this scripture, became a part of Buddhist and destroyed the entire Buddhism. That's why there are no Buddhists in India. The home of Buddha, there is nothing. Outside India, it is flourishing. Misuse of the path. Here, Mishra group knows how to devote. They use their way of worship, Panchopachara, Sodasopachara Puja. 16 things are used, 5 things are used. All they use 5, 5, 5 in Manas Puja. And then they use 16, which sharpens your brain, your mind so nicely. You can never say, I've forgotten. If you attend your puja, one thing it does, it makes your mind inward and it makes your mind one-pointed. But another school, you see. This school does not reject this school but doesn't follow this school. It's like fork. You see. So this is true. Dichotomy does not reject trichotomy. Yet they are two different. A fork having 2 spikes, a fork having 3 spikes. 2 spikes do not reject the 3. This does not reject this, but this follows only this. Manas Puja. They say any action of yours done in the external world, all their fruits remain in this world. What goes with me? What will go with me? Not my wealth, not my home, not my wife, not my children. Anything external will be here. What goes with me? My own sanskaras, my impressions which I store in my mind. So why not immediately purify my mind? You see. So they say mental worship is far more superior than the physical or external worship, the worship that is done by the priests in the external world. Mind needs purification. Mind needs to be prepared. Mind is a great obstacle. Mind is a great barrier. They say that. Now what shall we do? I give you 6-7 minutes break and then we'll refresh and then I'll give you practicum and you do more. Is it okay? Because you are tired also. Please take your seats. Am I late or are you being late? You are getting information as well as practicum. So those who are keen to practice, they will get something definite to follow, and if they have any obstacle, they can always approach me. I will know whether they are practicing or they are just questioning me. The questions will be not answered, the hurdles will be removed, those who are practicing. This is my promise. Okay. So this particular center is considered to be center of emotions. Those find themselves emotionally predominant. For them, it's better to start this center. But there is another point I'd like to tell you. Why did I include Manipur chakra in it? Because Manipur chakra is biggest of all. It controls the solar system. And I met somebody who was a master of solar science, and Paul Brunton writes about him in his book Search in Secret India. And I was there when this thing happened. I was lucky to have experienced all these things, because from the very beginning I was with Swamis, and at the same time I was sent to different schools of India. So Paul Brunton was questioning about death and life. Paul Brunton said, I have to ask you one question, Swamiji. It is in Benares. Is there any possibility that the dead comes back to life? He said, of course, it is in Christianity also. Resurrections. Can you demonstrate? He said, yes. He said, okay. Get a bird, living bird, and don't destroy any part of the bird, just choke the bird, so that bird is dead clinically. The doctors were called, 2 doctors. And Paul Brunton said, no, I will choose the doctors. He had a choice. He brought one of the French doctors during that time working in Benares, and one Indian doctor. And they found that bird was totally dead. Then give me that bird. He said, is it possible that I can hold the bird and you can do what you want from distance? He said, no, my hands are open. Like this, I was sitting there. And he closed his eyes, whispered something in his mind, the lips a little bit moved, and the bird flew. And bird flew at least 40 to 50 feet away in a tree, and they watched, and from there it flew to different tree. So they watched the bird, they ran after bird 3-4 hours. You see. And he says, look, this is not divine power in the end. It's called solar science. So those who are teachers, before they teach, you see, Kala, and then or they teach Mishra, they first teach their student something about this solar power, Manipur chakra. Concentrating on this chakra, which is situated at the navel, a triangular form that indicates fire, the flames of the fire go higher, upwards. So, making their mind one-pointed, they do it. In few days' time, heat starts being felt by you, you start perspiring, and it becomes easy to notice that you have accomplished something. 2 things are noticed in your character. Appetite is increased, excess appetite. Excess appetite. You can eat 10, 20, 30, 40 plates a day. You see? Because I have seen one person. There was one man about whom, I have written in my Living with Himalayan Master, Neem Karoli Baba. So he said, these people are troubling my devotees. Bole, let's go. That was my nickname. I am going to teach them lesson. They trouble me every day. He told 40 disciples in the city, I am going to come and eat with you. I said, why do you do this? Telling everybody and not going anywhere, it's not good. He said, no, you are coming with me. I followed with him. And he started eating. And he ate and he said, are you happy? He said, yes, I bless you and go into another place. 40 dishes he ate in a day. I never went to bathroom. Finally, when he sat down somewhere at 45th place, he said he's very hungry. Because of the practice of this chakra. To activate this chakra, there is one exercise that is recommended which is called Agnisara. Most of you do not understand the difference between Agnisara and stomach lift. They are two different things. Entirely. Come on, Dr. Beagle here. Show them what is stomach lift, abdominal lift. This is abdominal lift. He is lifting the abdomen. But this does not make Agnisara. This prepares your abdomen for practicing Agnisara. And Agnisara prepares you for activating your solar system. Remember this. Systematically, if it is done, it is not a long thing. How many times you do Agnisara? 100 times at least. How much you have to begin with? 25 times. What is the difference between stomach lift and Agnisara? He will describe. Now, this is stomach lift. Now, what is Agnisara? Now, this is Agnisara. Let it go.
He's pulling in above the pubic bone, and then it's coming up.
Okay. Let's see again. Rolling up.
The abdominal contents roll up towards the chest cavity after he pulls up.
When will it happen? When you have done stomach lift, when your muscles, abdominal muscles become supple, then it will become easy for you to do it. When you have done Agnisara 100 times, you have acquired good health. Another problem comes in it. Sexual feelings, sexual activities increase, so that you have to control during that. You have to control two things: appetite, sexual appetite, and food appetite. You see. I have seen a man, his name, he writes, Paul Brunton, doing sex with 90 women in the row. I have never seen such a bazaar anywhere in the world. And he is still alive, that man. His name is Masuri Samser. He is from Nepal, from royal family. He misused the power of this. And Paul Brunton writes about him. Masuri Samser is his name. These practices could mislead you if you don't have guidance and if you don't seek guidance. But these practices are very healthy. You can control any physical disease, disorder, if you practice this. Okay. No. No. No Ashwini. There are no Mula. First you do a stomach lift for 1 or 2 months when your abdominal muscles become supple. Then you draw in right from this pelvic. Draw in, draw in, draw in, as though something is rolling up. And then, not force, relax. In certain cases, yes.
Do we do this in exhalation?
No, you come here, I will tell you, so that they can learn again. Come on. One rule is being applied from the very beginning. When you pull in, push in, you have to exhale, and when you relax, you have to inhale. This is right from diaphragmatic breath to, you say, this is called stomach lift and Agnisara. When you push in your abdomen, you should exhale. This is a law. Because that muscle, diaphragm, presses in your lungs and it becomes easy for you to exhale because of the bad habits, active living, that reverses. So that regulates the motion of lungs and helps the motion to expel the carbon dioxide or used up gas. But Agnisara is different. You don't have to use the same exhalation when you inhale, push in, exhale, and when you relax, allow it to come out, inhale. Don't force when you exhale. Many of you force when you exhale. No. Force should be used only when you exhale, not in inhalation. Any question on this?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there only one breath, one in breath, one exhalation and one inhalation?
Yeah. Yes. By the time you have trained your breath. Yes.
Nauli provide the same benefits as Agnisara?
Nauli is entirely different kriya, which benefits the abdomen. Nauli is churning. You see. Yes, wait.
So on the Agnisara, can you do the breathing quickly? Can you do it quickly, or does it have to be done very slowly?
No. In quickly you cannot draw in the whole abdomen to its final desired state. Yes?
What's the ideal time for one Agnisara, or say how many per minute?
According to your capacity. My capacity differs from your capacity, so the idea time also differs. Perhaps I have practiced a long breath, you have not. So idea of time goes according to your breath. Yes.
When you're doing like 100, is it permissible to do more than one lift per breath?
No. You cannot complete that entire roll from here. In stomach lift you can do. Sometimes you do in stomach lift faster. But this is just Agnisara. That's the difference between stomach lift and Agnisara.
It's still, you should only do one per breath.
Yes, sometimes even one breath is not sufficient. You have to coordinate with your breath and the muscle pull. Yes?
You mentioned earlier about speaking about eliminating past samskaras.
I'm coming to that. Don't jump. Okay. I don't forget my subject.
Why is it easier for me to do Nauli and I get impatient with Agnisara?
Because you have not developed patience. Simple thing. Patience is a different virtue. It is not attained through Agnisara. Okay. Yes.
Swamiji, he said in the description that you were rolling up. It didn't roll all the way up into Uddiyana Bandha. It just rolled up and with the breath then came back down.
Yes. As far as you can. As far as you can. Huh?
How do I do it on the chair?
How do you do? You can do it by putting your hands on the abdomen and watch my abdomen first. You watch. Now, ask your hands to push your abdomen as far as you can. And then gently relax your hands. This way you can help. That's why the back, sandbag, other weights are used for it. Up to 12 pounds you are allowed to do that. Because the capacity of your diaphragm is tremendous. You can move grand piano. Such a great capacity. Okay, let me speak, otherwise you will be left behind. Mishra here means combined, not mixed up. That which combines the worldly success and at the same time devotion. Devotion, what for you want to devote, what for do you worship? To attain nearness. You want to attain nearness. You want to know and see that Devatma Shakti very closely. Closely, face to face. So there is another school that is called Samaya. Many Western writers did not know what it was because we don't impart this knowledge to everybody. We test the students again and again and then impart this knowledge. You see. Nadatabyam, nadatabyam, nadatabyam. Don't give, don't give, don't give this knowledge. This will be misused, this will be not used properly. It should not be given. And the center is Ajna Chakra here. After you have done this worship, you have organized your emotional body. When emotional body no more disturbs the lake of mind or life, then we give next step, and that is called Ajna Chakra. Now you will see in all geometrical figures, try and one day you will know what I am saying. It's easy to keep your mind busy on this figure. It's easy to keep your mind within this figure. It's easy to keep your mind in this figure. But mind refuses to be in the circle. Does not want to be in the circle. Because human nature is not to be. Animal in human being does not want to be disciplined. Human in human wants to be disciplined because he has knowledge of the Absolute. At least he can have the glimpse. The more you have animal active in your life, because you are a compound of three, animal, human and divine. Animal does not want to be. So is the case with your mind. There are three qualities of human mind: sattva, rajasa and tamasa. Tamasa does not want to be disciplined. The great symbol of tamasa in Indian mythology is Ravana. He had all the powers. What was the difference between Rama's character and his character? He was tamasa and not sattvic. That was the difference, the only difference. He was more learned than Rama. He was equally devotee of Shiva, like Rama. Animal does not want. So animal mind does not want to be in the circle. That's why animal mind is trained here. Animal mind means that negative part of mind which runs towards the world and refuses to go to fathom the finer forces of life within. Rajasic mind and animal mind. Animal mind is actually burnt here as the gold is burnt into the fire and then ornaments are made. Animal mind is burnt here. Then comes that purified mind is again disciplined here and it becomes human mind. That human mind is led and then given this circle. This is called Agya Chakra. A means in Sanskrit. हरिशंकर बोलो आ मैंने क्या होता है? ए हरिशंकर, क्या मतलब हुआ? हैं? A means no here. नहीं. A means here, Agya means no, Gya means knowledge. So far, whatever you have done is not knowledge. And you will be disappointed. Whatever you have done, it is all preparation. It is not knowledge. Even this chakra will not give you jnana. Well, that's what he was talking about, jnana bandha. Ajna chakra. A means no, Gya means knowledge. A means little also. Whatever little knowledge actually you have first through this chakra, not from the below chakras. All preparation. Preparation is more important than the attainment. If you are not fully prepared, you are not able to attain. Preparation is very important. Therefore, don't ignore. Say, you don't want to be prepared, you are perfect and you can straight away go. It's just like going to perform belly dance without any learning it. Agya chakra. So here, that mind which has not been prepared systematically refuses to. And then here now I like to meditator, I like to give them one hint. Meditators immediately want to see a light. You have a light, why are you worried? Convince yourself that you have light and I can convince you. How do you see this light if you don't have light? How do you see light of sun, moon and stars if you don't have light? You have light of knowledge, you have light of brilliance, you have light of decisiveness, you have light of discrimination. Your light is definitely superior light than all these dumb lights. With the little switch off, there will be darkness. You see? From where that light comes? It doesn't come from eyes, it comes through eyes. Very little of it comes through eyes. Vast of it does not come through eyes. Vast of it remains inside. That is why in yoga symbols, there is one symbol that is called Trinetra. Eye. I live in the Himalayas, so when I went to Toronto, somebody told me there is a book here written by Lobsang Rampa, Third Eye. And he lived in Toronto. And he came to see me and I knew him. Is it true that operation is performed in the Himalayas, third eye operation? I did not know what to say because if I said no, his book wouldn't sell. And if I say it, it's misleading. I said, I will answer you tomorrow. There is no such physical operation and there is no doctor who performs operation on third eye. Believe me. I was born in the Himalayas. I toured whole of the Himalayas, right from Pakistan Himalayas, Punjab, Garhwal, Assam, part of China. I don't think there are many such toddlers like me who traveled in the Himalayas so extensively as I did. I met all the sages of all orders, Christian sages, those who migrated from Kerala, St. Thomas Church, and other. And I met Sufis, I met Sikhs, I met Hindus, I met Chinese, I met Buddhists, I met Jain, Tibetans. Just I want to know. Though they are from different orders, yet all are searching something. What is that something? So I came to one conclusion. And I want to give you one simple thing. When you start meditating, don't try to see the light. You see easily light. Why, what type of meditation it is? You are in search of what light? So don't have that, I want to see light. I want to see blue light, purple light, yellow light, gold light. Don't. These lights will come and disappear according to the predominance of tattvas. One day you will see golden light, one day you will see yellow light, one day you will see red light. That's not progress. Those lights you see, you have glimpse because of the tattva. You have 5 tattvas, elements. Fire. When earth is active, you will see yellow light. You can, many times a meditator feels fragrance, and that's not untrue. Because during that time he is one with the Prithvi Tattva. So fragrance is quality of Prithvi Tattva. Many times a student sees himself, you see, floating in the water. Many times he will feel burning sensation. These are the symptoms of the tattvas, predominance of tattvas. One of the tattvas remain predominant. You can easily see. Have a mirror and do ha. You will find that mirror is creating many forms. Because at different times, after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour again do it, that picture which is made by the vapor changes. Predominance of tattvas. Therefore my suggestion and what we are taught and the way we are trained, I tell you, not to hanker, not to worry about the light, seeing light. Suppose you see the light, what will happen to you? You have seen lights. What has happened? These lights have made you crazy. That will make you more. That is not right teaching. So the teachers of meditation say, learn to make your abode in complete darkness. How do you observe that this is darkness or this is light? Because during that time your light within becomes very observant and alert. You experience darkness. It's very easy to experience and imagine, light. But it's difficult to observe darkness and maintain that darkness for some time, I tell you that. A student is asked to observe darkness, complete darkness around him. Why? So that he can see real light far and far away. Where? Within himself. So teacher gives him initiation on the Agya Chakra Vedana, meditating on the Agya Chakra. And he says, in the Agya Chakra, completely dark, oval type, this figure, you meditate. Don't go towards the words and aksharas, otherwise you will be lost in. You will be saying I, you whole day. What you will find? You will find a light coming through. That is the process, not meditating. When you are asked to gaze on light, it is a trataka, training the eyes. It is not meditation. But it is done after you have done your puja here. Pancho char puja, Sodso char puja. Now, what connects you to Sahasrara chakra? By the way, I want to mention briefly something. Those who are therapists and doctors, I will tell them and request them to do some experiments on the solar signs. Meditate on the navel chakra, Manipur chakra. And the more they meditate, the more they will find intuitive diagnosis ability. I developed it. I have proved it scientifically. What happened? By chance I want to mention, it has been documented. I was sitting in my office in Manager Foundation. So they said there is a meeting at 4 o'clock. I said, doctor, after food I sleep. Can you postpone it up to 5? He said, no, because we're late. So I did not eat much so that I don't feel. That was my sleeping time, daytime. I went to that, I was half asleep and half awake when I was there. So a doctor, she was a woman, her husband was a doctor, and the person who was treating the child was also a doctor. So, what is the problem with this child? You are talking of intuitive diagnosis. I said, what the doctor says? Say, asthma. I said, no. 1, 2, 3, on the 3rd chamber there is a hole, congenital hole, and it is not being treated. I don't know this. And the doctor who was sitting there was expert, got very angry. You are challenging my knowledge? I said, I'm not challenging anyone's knowledge. Take him to the lab, get it confirmed. Immediately the child was there. It was seen, there was a hole. How can it be cured? I said, that's another question. We were talking of diagnosis. It can be done. It can be as sure as anything. But only the therapists and doctors, those who have some knowledge of, you see, anatomy and physiology. It is important to have that. But it happens only through Manipur chakra. Manipur chakra is used. Biggest network is under the domain of Manipur chakra. Doctors should develop that ability. When clinical symptoms or other symptoms, other findings fail, one finding helps, and that is called intuitive diagnosis. That can be helped. If you can find out what that means, it's okay. But for the sake of confirmation, where you find you cannot decide, you can use that method, and that's a wonderful way. I was unfortunate not to train anybody in this country because nobody wants to work. It takes some time, it takes some labor, it takes some effort. I never wanted any fee for that. Therefore, I always involve Manipur chakra throughout and tell the students to spend few minutes sadhana on Manipur chakra. But there is another chakra between Manipur, between Agya and Sahasrara. That is called Guru Chakra or Jnana Chakra. Now you will find this point flows downwards and that flows upwards. It's a knowledge, flame of knowledge that flows upwards. And this flows downwards. Shakti's trend in human body is downward because, I explained to you, Kundalini remains coiled in a dormant form and slipped from her own abode because she is drunk. She drinks that best of the nectar that flows from Brahmanda, and that's why we are crude. When we stop her doing that, she awakes, dashes and goes there. How to stop that? Is there any other way? There are many ways. I am going to describe Jnana Chakra, meditation on this, attaining Sahasrara Chakra, accomplish Turiya tomorrow. It's at 12:15. And be prepared for 2 hours tomorrow if it takes 2 hours. God bless you. Are you picking up? Don't put me useless question, but if you don't understand, repeatedly you can ask me, don't feel bad.